thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. If that don't sound like we're talking about hunting, I don't know what does. At least the way I hunt. Last week when I shot that buck in the neck and I lost him, that was a real big buck, and that hurt me. It caught me off guard, and I did something I normally wouldn't do, and I felt bad about the shot I took. And it bothered me. You get a knot in your stomach, and you feel like it's the end of the world. You want to curl up in a ball and just hide somewhere, you know. What you got to do is take the advice my old man used to give me. I mean, I can remember riding my bicycle as a little kid, and fall off the bicycle, you split your lip open, and you're sitting there pouting, and the old man comes over and he says, "Get up, wipe the blood off your lip, straighten your hat out, dust yourself off, and get back on. That's the only way you fix it." So, you know, I admitted my failures. I got up, straightened my hat out, dusted myself off, wiped the blood off my lip, and went back out hunting. And I tried to turn that turmoil, that bad feeling, into motivation. I tried to make it into a positive, oh yeah, you can't do that to me. I'm going to come back twice as hard, and I'm going to kill me a good buck. It ain't ending like that. I was back here in early spring walking around on the back of this public property, and I noticed a lot of buck sign. And I had thrown a camera near here and got a whole bunch of pictures of big bucks. So this place had really caught my eye. I don't think anybody's getting in here because of how thick it is. It's just thick and nasty. And the property itself gets a lot of pressure, but I don't think people get down into this crap. You don't see any setups. So I came down and I scouted my way in with a stand on my back, and I found this spot here where all these trails intersect, and I could see real big tracks here and there. And in the spring I found a lot of big buck beds over there and some doe bedding over there. And I have to think there's going to be some movement through here. Now the bucks could be by the does, which is over there, which is kind of downwind. But no matter what I do in here, I gotta have the wind going the wrong way a little. And as long as it's going the opposite way of where the bucks should be, I'm good. But I wouldn't doubt it if I get some blowing behind me, or if something knows I'm here from behind. But there ain't much for trees. This spot here is invasive buckthorn tree. I'm thinking I can stick a stand right here at head level and just sit in this little hole here, and I can shoot up the trail that way. I can shoot this trail here and here and here. And all the trails that I would call buck trails go through here. Now when you get in this really thick stuff, if bucks are going down the trails, they knock all the branches over with their racks, unless they're small bucks. So the big buck trails will be kind of open. I see one right here that's got big tracks on it, and the trail is knocked open. See that? And this one is knocked open and has big tracks on it. You know, and that one there is knocked open and has big tracks on it. And everything intersects right here. So this looks pretty good. But I am running late, so I'm going to have to get up a tree pretty quick. But it's going to be a little bit funky trying to get a stand in here. So we'll get her done. And then hopefully I can get it in a spot where I can get an arrow out of it. I'm going to be at eye level with these things though, so I'm going to have to be alert. But I think I can stand right into that tree and they won't see me. It'll almost be like half ground blind, half tree stand. I needed a kill. I needed to kill the next buck that walks in. I needed a good, clean kill. I wasn't taking an iffy shot. I needed to prove to myself, to get my confidence back, to get back in the game, that I can get this done when it happens, when I get the chance, when I get the opportunity. I needed to be patient and wait for the right shot. Here's my setup. My stand's right here. I'm just tucked into this hole in the tree. I got the trails over here, 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 and here. I'm going to put my camera arm right here, and I'm just going to try and slip into that tree. I even put leaves on top of my extra sticks, hoping if they come in here they don't see them. I laid this branch across this trail because there are some big tracks in this trail. If one comes like this, I wanted to turn and go over here and give me a shot. So, I don't know, we'll give her a shot. Kind of crazy. Alright, settled in. It's 4:39. At like 6 o'clock it's closing. It's cutting it close. Usually that last hour is the magic hour, so hopefully, at least in the evenings. But I've been seeing them as early as 4, and it's 40 minutes past 4. It's a wonky setup. Thought I heard something moving. I had just gotten set up, and I hear something moving, and I look up and I see a rack coming. And it's coming to an opening I have, a small opening in front of me at 20 to 25 yards, right there in front of me, and it's going to pass by in front of me. I go over and I get the camera on. As the buck is hitting the opening, I go to draw, and I realize that by the time I draw, I'd have to race and shoot. And I kept thinking, Dan, pushing it and racing and trying too hard is what cost you the last buck. And I let him go through, knowing he's just going to keep walking. And this is a good buck. I mean, he's an 8, and he's at least 140s. Might be into the 150s. It's the buck I knew lived on that property was the biggest one. I had a lot of pictures of bucks in that property, but that was the one. Last thing I wanted to do was wound him. I let him get through my opening because I wasn't prepared when he hit it. And I was watching him walk away. So I didn't take the shot when the buck walked through the window. And then the buck keeps going away, and he keeps stopping and rubbing trees. Get a little further, rub another one. And I'm frantically looking around. I think I brought a grunt call. I haven't used it all season. Maybe I got it somewhere here. What did I do with it? Probably left it in the front seat of my truck, because I really don't use the grunt call much, but now I could use one. Because he's worked up, he's rubbing trees and stuff. I probably call him back, but I don't have it on me. So I just let him walk. And he goes and he goes and he gets out to about 30 yards. And he starts rubbing this tree, and when he stops, he turns on a dime and starts walking parallel to me. And I notice there's a trail going through, there's an opening. And I had tried to range that. I couldn't. The rangefinder kept picking up the brush before, but I knew it had to be about 30 yards. Right at about 30 yards, he was going to walk through this opening. And at 30 yards, I'm about that low with my 20-yard pin, and I got it set for 20. And that's the spot where I start dropping off rapidly. So if he gets out to, let's say, 35 yards, it might drop this much, you know. So I figured
aim at the top of the vitals. If he drops a little and I hit straight on, I'd hit spine. But I think I'm going to sink a little bit, right? But if I hit spine, I'm okay. I'll break his back. But from any lower, I got lungs and heart right there. But I think if I'm right at the top of the vitals, she's going to drop right in there. So I'm looking at that opening thinking that, and that deer starts walking to the opening. It. Got me another one. How do you like that? Out of this stupid bush. It looked like I drilled him. It was a long shot, but it looked like I drilled him. Oh my gosh. That was a nice buck. Looked like an 8-pointer. Probably better than 140. Looked like a pretty good deer. Holy cow. He actually came through a window over here, and when I saw him, I was trying to get the camera on. I could have shot him at 20 yards. And I tried to get the camera on, and he got through my window, and it looked like he was going to keep going. And then up here he turned, and he took some trails over here, and he kept stopping and rubbing trees. And then there's a little tiny hole here at 30 yards. When he hit that hole, I grunted, he stopped, I drilled him. That arrow looked perfect. It looked perfect. I'm pretty sure he's down. I know I didn't get a pass through because I heard the arrow hitting the brush over there. But that shot looked good. Yeah. I won't put you through the misery of watching me do a Josh dance. But I came in here blind, set up, and it was a bad setup. But I'm like, this is where everything meets. If I can get an arrow in him before he sees me. Man, this is cool. I'm going to give it a couple minutes, then I'm going to go look for him. I'm pretty sure he's down. This is my setup. Check this out. That's middle of my chest high. I just kind of nestled into that tree. Buckthorn tree, so it was making noise on my back. I didn't think I had a chance tonight. It's always those screwed up setups when you get the chance, the opportunity. Holy crap. That buck was standing right here when I drilled him. He ran off that way. He was rubbing stuff right there. There's a heavy trail there. That might be the one he was on, actually. So, yeah, he came out right here. I see his tracks. This is where he was when I shot him. Right here, you see the dirt exploded. The arrow did not pass through because I heard it hit branches. But it looked like a perfect hit. There's the arrow. Oh crap, there ain't no blood on it. What the hell happened?
This is not good. This is not good. I don't know what I hit, but that arrow looked like it was right behind the shoulder. That is not good. Oh. You go from the highest of the highs to the lowest of the lows. I don't know what happened. That arrow dropped in. I was watching that luminoc right exactly where I was aiming. Oh crap. So I found about 5 or 6 drops of blood. And I was able to follow his track for about 300 yards, maybe a little longer than that. And found where he J-hooked into a bed and then heard him get up and just hop off. I'm 99% sure that I hit the shoulder blade. I don't know how though, it looked like it was in the crease. I don't know if my vision is going or what, but it should be a dead deer. Just got knots in my stomach. This is just killing me. You know, wounding one ain't the worst thing in the world, but when you do 2 in a row, it just deflates a guy. It just takes the wind out of your sails. I was extra careful this time. I could have rushed an arrow in that first window. I didn't want bad results. I made sure I had a really good broadside sight window. I even stopped him. I don't know, I'm gonna have to play back the footage and look at what happened. I have no idea. I really honestly thought I smoked him. The only thing that seemed weird is that I heard the arrow hit the brush when it broke off. And I thought, that arrow's still in him. It should have zipped right through him. But he's not even bleeding. I mean, I must have been square on the shoulder blade, and that's all I could think. I don't know. When he got up and hopped off after 300 yards, he didn't even hardly run. He just hopped. You only get so many opportunities at toads like that, too. That was a great buck for public land. Oh, God. I really, really thought I smoked that deer. So here's the arrow that I shot him with. There's just a touch of blood right at the tip here, and not hardly any at all, just a little bit sticky to about there. And if I put another arrow, a good arrow, up against it for the same length, it's busted right at the broadhead. So I literally got that much penetration. That just blows my mind. Even in the shoulder, I should have went in deeper than that. I have no idea what happened. When I got home, I pulled the video up on the computer. I zoomed in and I put it in slow-mo. Because I couldn't figure out what happened. How could I just get that much penetration? And I had aimed at the top of the vitals, figuring I'd hit spine if it went, dropped a little bit, drop into the vitals otherwise. I'm thinking, what could I have hit? Well, it did drop slightly, and my arrow never really dropped, and I hit spine. dead on. I smacked that spine and it stopped the arrow cold. What are the odds? The arrow buried into the backbone and didn't break his back. 95% of the time you hit that backbone, they just drop in their tracks. That buck sucked it up. I'm sure the buck's going to be okay. Me? I'm not too sure about.